Hello there and welcome to yet another episode of Cooking with me in my kitchen space. So in today's recipe, I'm going to be answering a question that someone asked, and in my previous Pilau recipe, a wonderful subscriber requested for my Kachumbari recipe, and here I am to give you the recipe that I use, and I'm sure if you try it out, you're going to love it because this recipe is just thebombRecipe.com. With me here, I have my ingredients that are quite few, and I have an onion, I have some coriander leaves, I have some green chili peppers, I have 3 medium tomatoes, I have some salt, and I also have some hot water that is boiling on my fire. The secret to this recipe is to finely chop everything, and I'm going to take you through. And for this onion, you have to thinly slice it in a certain design that, okay, let me try and demonstrate. So if at all I start at this point, nitamalizia hapa juu. I'm not going to make some rings, but I'm going to make some long strands of onions, and this is what I simply mean. Yeah, like that. Instead of making an onion ring, you just make a long strand of onion, hivo, like that. I will recommend you use the onion that has very many rings as compared to this one with only a few rings. So I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to use this one. As you can notice, here icona so many rings, so it's going to be easier to get more strands of onions. So that's the first method that I use. The second way, you can slice your onion halfway, hivo, until that point. Don't cut across. Then, now you can cut as if you are making some onion rings. Yeah, so unaona ikiwa hivi, unazitoanisha tu hivyo virahisi. So this is what I find a little bit easier than the other one. So this is what I've managed to get. I'll set this aside for my pilau recipe that I'm about to shoot in just a few minutes. So for this, naziweka hapa ndani, but na make sure nimezitoanisha hivi. This is what we have, and I'm going to add a very generous amount. And when I mean generous, you just add more than you need, like that. Alafu you just toast them kiasi, and you add in your warm water, and then ninafunikia hapa and let this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Hiyo inasaidia kutoa ile harufu ya kitunguu isibakie kwa mdomo yako. So this is a very important step. This is about 10 minutes later. So at this point, you're going to need a sieve and an extra bowl. Alafu, now we are going to drain off this water. And then I'm going to run this through cold water for about 30 seconds. Then I'll be back. This is cold water and I've also rinsed this. Now tutazirudisha kwa this container. Alafu tuongeze warm water. So I'll go in with another round of warm water. And then I'll cover this for just about 3 to 5 minutes so that they can become soft a little bit. Then in the meantime, I'm going to be preparing this, and I'm simply going to remove this upper part of the tomato. Then I'm going to slice the tomatoes a similar way like how I showed you how to slice the onion. Like when I start here at this point, I'm not going to go through this end, but I'm going to naitokelezea hivyo, and then I start from there, then go to the end. Then I'm going to go in with my coriander leaves, and I'm also going to finely chop them kabisa. So I'll set that aside for garnishing. And then I'm going to slice this as thin as I possibly can. And then also for the green chili pepper, I normally use one huge one, but sikupata the huge one, so I'm using 2 small ones. And for this, you also have to finely chop them kabisa. So I'm simply doing the kafirifiri kwa umbali. So at this point, it's about 5 minutes, and I'm also going to use this sieve and run my onions through cold water for about 30 seconds. Then I'll show you the next process. So this is what you should do next, and you need a clean kitchen towel. Alafu, we are just going to arrange this in a single layer, and then we are going to pat them dry, because you do not want to add more water to this, because here the tomatoes, when you add some salt, they are going to be dehydrated, and then they are going to extract some, which is good for this recipe, but the water from this is not good for this recipe. So that's why we have to dry them using a very clean kitchen towel. It's time to add some salt, and you add salt to your liking. I like mine a little bit saltier, so that at least, the tomatoes are very tasteless, so I like them just a little bit salty. You have to add this in bits, yeah, so that you cannot mess things up. So you also need to taste for the salt, and I'm just going to taste one tomato. The salt is perfect. The kafirifiri is also perfect. Amazing. So that is it, but we are not yet done yet. So I'm going to cover this with a cling film, and then I'll pop it in the fridge to sit for about 30 minutes to 2 hours. The longer the better. And then in the meantime, I'm going to be cooking my pilau recipe that should be popping up in your screen a day after this, and I hope you're going to also check it out. So that's it. It was that easy. So let me proceed to take a thumbnail photo, then wrap it up, and then I'll see you once my pilau is ready.